Thanks for listening to English Go Podcast. If you'd like to listen without adverts, read episode transcripts, or listen to extra bonus episodes, please check the description for more details. Right, so I'm going to pick up again from where I left off last time, which was telling you about my birthday in Japan. And, I should mention it was the first birthday, sorry, I didn't pronounce it correctly, and I wanted to pronounce it properly. It's hard, getting that TH sound. I think it is. I don't know about you. But I remember when I was a child growing up, I always used to say birthday because it was just too hard to say birthday. And I think Thursday was Thursday. Can you hear the difference? Like the TH and the F sound. Furs. Very similar. But anyway, it's still a bit difficult, to be honest, even though I'm much older now, it's still a bit difficult. But there we go, birthday. So it was the first birthday I've been able to spend with my wife, ever, which was, I don't know, a bit weird, isn't it, I suppose? But that's just what happens when you start off with a long-distance relationship. Anyway, back to the story. So, we'd just been on this, half-pipe type ride, and I was a bit unhappy because I couldn't do it properly, and I didn't know how to do it. But the next ride we went on was like this pirate shooting ride thing, and you had to sit on this, some people sat in the ship, like a mini pirate ship, and some people sat on like a barrel, like the kind of barrel that they would store whiskey in or rum inside. And it was all moving up and down, sort of like floating on an ocean, like that kind of movement, rocking movement. And you had to try and shoot people whilst you were playing this game. But I noticed something unusual about this game. Some people could sit at the front, like really, really close to the screen, and some people could sit at the back, and they were really far away from the screen. But the people sitting at the back, it was harder for them to aim, wasn't it? If you want to try shooting something with a gun, it's a lot easier to shoot it if you're closer to it. So the people at the front had an unfair advantage, I would say. And the people right at the back had an unfair disadvantage. I was sort of in the middle, but a bit towards the back. And the person who came first was right at the front. He could almost touch the screen. And, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, whoever thought about the design of that game didn't pay attention to, how fair it was for everyone playing it. But I suppose maybe it's a bit hard to avoid that kind of thing. Maybe the people at the back should have had, a different kind of weapon. Like one that's more powerful or something, or more accurate. I don't know. Anyway, so someone's sitting in the front one, obviously, and then we carried on with the next ride. What did we go on next? Oh, I think it might have been. We went on this. Simulator. I think they used to call them simulators years ago. What did they call them? So a long time ago. Well, not long time ago, but back in the 90s. I remember you could go, where would you go? Maybe a theme park. Maybe a theme park would have one. And you'd see this thing. And I think it was called a simulator. And it was like a car. Or bigger than a car. And it would, this is hard to explain. It was suspended in the air. But it had these, oh dear. It had these legs coming out of it. It sounds crazy. Not legs, but mechanical leg things. And these would allow it to move up and move down and rock forwards and backwards and rock to the side and, and then you'd sit inside it and there'd be a screen and it would play like a roller coaster or something. And then you'd sit in it and you'd feel like you were on the roller coaster because it could move around. So we went on something like this, but a bit different. It was bigger, and you sort of sat on it, and then you went it actually did move forwards, like really moved forwards about, I don't know, 5 meters or something, and it went inside another room, and that room was dark. So it was a simulator, but it worked in a bit of a different way. Anyway, that was really fun, and I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed it so much, and so did my wife, that we actually went on 3 of them. They had 3 different, versions of the same ride. I think it was like exactly the same hardware, exactly the same ride itself, but the actual, like the scenario, the video that played was a different one every time. So it was called Wild something. Oh, I think it changed depending on what it was. Like one was Wild Jungle, then they had Wild River, and then they had Wild, was it called Plane or something? I don't know. But one was a flying one, so you had like a simulation of flying. One was on a river, so a simulation of on a river, and the other one was a jungle. So you were like in a car and going through the jungle, and it was very bumpy and stuff like that. Those were really fun. I really like those. You don't see them so often anymore. I don't know why. I have this image in my mind of them being quite popular in the 90s and then just becoming not popular. I don't know. But yeah, I was glad to ride on one again. I haven't been on one since I was a child, I think. Probably, yeah. But yeah, good fun. I really like those. We went on this another ride that was sort of like half a ride and half a play, like a theatre, but all with digital characters, all on the screens, and like, I don't know, it would get, sometimes it would hot and sometimes it would blow wind at you and you'd turn around and the lights would go out, and it was meant to be a bit scary, but it wasn't. It was more like fun than scary, and it was 3D as well. I think it was okay, but it was pretty hard to understand the Japanese in that ride, I'll be honest. I think it's because it was like set in a sort of old times, long ago, and the Japanese was a bit different. But yeah, that was hard for me to understand. After that, we went for lunch in the restaurant, and I have to say, what a fantastic view that this restaurant has of the Bay of Tokyo. I think you can go to some very like expensive restaurants in Tokyo to get like a good view of the bay. So you can see like this bridge that they've got right in the middle, Rainbow Bridge, and I think you can pay a lot of money to get that good view. But this was just a normal cheap restaurant in the middle of this game center sort of place, this Joypolis place it was called, and it was a really good view. And I managed to get like a table right by the window, big window, and just enjoyed sitting there for a while, to be honest, eating some junk food on my birthday. And yeah, that gave me a bit more energy, because I was starting to feel a bit tired. After you stand in the queue for a long time, it's very tiring. I don't know why. You're doing absolutely nothing. If you were going like running for like 10 miles and you were tired, everyone would understand why. But you just stand there and you don't do anything, and it makes you really tired. I don't know why. So anyway, I was glad that we could eat something, because it gave me a bit more stamina, a bit more energy, and I was ready to go again. I think the next ride we went on was this sort of, I say ride, but they weren't rides. They were more like experiences or attractions, I suppose. So the next experience we went on I don't know, it was like, I think it was called Murder Lodge, and the idea was you were sort of like walking through a forest, and then you came upon a lodge, which is like a small house, sometimes made of logs, wood logs. Or is that like a wooden lodge? A log cabin? I don't know. I'm not an expert of like wooden buildings, whatever. It was like a little small building in the forest made of wood. And you went into this room, and it had like a table in it and some like plates on the table, and you sat down and you had to listen to the whole thing. It was like a 3D audio experience. And I thought that was a really good idea. I liked it. The lights went out, and then you could hear someone like acting, saying something about some monster coming or something, and this monster would come up to you like really close, like you can hear right in your ear, and he was like shouting really loud sometimes, a bit weird. I won't tell you everything that happens, just in case there's someone listening who goes on the ride. And I don't want to spoil it for you. But yeah, I enjoyed that one. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think my wife found it quite scary. I didn't. I won't say everything that happens, because there's some extra bits that happen that are a little bit scary, but not really. But I thought that was good fun, and I liked it. It was like quite a unique experience where you just listen to it rather than having, you don't use your eyes or anything, you just listen to it in the dark. And then finally, what did we do? We went on like one more ride. It was a weird one. You were like riding some taxi type, tuk-tuk taxi type thing. And you had to score points by collecting coins. And then there was like a quiz as well. And then these monkeys would jump on the screen, and you had to use your car horn, well, your taxi horn, to get them off the screen. It was weird. I don't know who thought of that one. It had a strange name as well. It was called Spicy Taxi. I don't know why. How can you have a spicy taxi? I don't know. But it was just a weird experience. It was quite fun though. Right, I'm going to have to leave it there because we're right at the end of the episode again, and actually I've got some more to talk about. I'd like to also tell you what I did after the going to this Joypolis place as well. So I will leave that until next episode. Until then, bye-bye.